A warm welcome, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to our audience from all across the globe. So, today's live session is called an Introduction to SAP Customer Onboarding and Embedded Launch Activities for SAP Cloud ERP Private. So, this session is actually part of an entire series of live webcasts on the theme of SAP Business Suite. And through the playlist that you can find in the description of this video, you can easily access all the past as well as the upcoming sessions that are part of this series. So don't miss the opportunity to take a look into our playlist. So I'm very happy to have Sunil Mehta as expert with us today. Sunil is a senior director at SAP and part of customer services and delivery. So you, the participants, have the opportunity to raise your questions directly to Sunil. You can do so by using the chat window, and we will pick up and answer your questions right after the presentation part. So without any further ado, I would now like to hand over to today's expert, and Sunil, the stage is all yours.
Hey, thanks a lot, Sunil. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to all those who are attending this live session. Thanks for joining in. So today's session is all about customer onboarding and embedded launch activities. See, embedded launch activities is something which comes as a product entitlement as a part of your subscription to it is of zero additional cost, and it is something which will help you safeguard your go live and also help you accelerate time to value. What you can include in embedded launch activities is few personalized calls to kickstart your system setup and basically some webinars to cover some of the key milestones in your projects, and also a lot of digital content by the way of onboarding resource center. So uh, typically on an within an embedded launch activities, it is an opportunity for you to align your teams with the subscript to get them information about the subscription entitlements, understanding over the tools for which are available from SAP's side, which would help you with your successful go live, and also kind of like uh, taking you giving you some indications about or some access to role specific learning programs and contents and several other things. So how this is delivered is what I explained very just now, that there would be multiple personalized calls, there would be set of webinars, and there would be onboarding resource center where you can kind of like visit and check a lot of digital content which would be helpful in your adoption journey. And the content which I'm talking about is basically how do you access the system, what are your entitlements, what are the tools and the services available to you, typically the best practices, activate methodology, what is RISE with SAP methodology, how it is relevant for you, the clean core quality gates, integrated tool chain, and enterprise support and enterprise value maps. What are the timelines? So we engage with you during the prepare phase, and then we provide you support for your implementation at the right stages through those delivery channels, which is your personalized calls as well as webcasts. And the benefits I already spoke about. So this is a very crisp summary of what we do as a part of embedded launch activities. I'll again like to highlight this thing, that this is something which is of zero additional cost to all our customers who have subscribed to Cloud ERP Private Edition. And this is included in subscription. And this is something which will be available to all the customers accordingly. As I mentioned, there are some role-specific self-paced learning content also available with you, which you can kind of like make best use of it. And during these personalized calls and sessions, the onboarding advisor would actually guide you in terms of how to access these learning things and all other content which I just spoke about. So in this particular slide, I would like to very quickly give you an indication of what happens after you have signed your contract. So the first very important thing I'd like to highlight here is It's a proactive thing. So as a customer or partner, you don't need to trigger anything. All these actions and all these details which are mentioned here would be proactively kind of like initiated from SAP's side. So there would be an automated welcome email which would be sent to you 4 days from your contract signature date. This would have a lot of details around the initial setups, provisioning instructions, and things like that. And the mail would come from engage-sap@mailsap.com. And this mail would go to the nominated IT contact, which you have maintained in your contract. Now, this is where your journey starts. Very close to the contract start date, there would be kind of like services kickoff. So there would be a session from Enterprise Cloud Services. We call them as ECS. They, in that 1:1 session, they would be explaining you the roles and the responsibilities. They'll cover a lot of details around S/4HANA Cloud Private Edition setup, and also explain the collaboration and the support channels with you. Typically, for this particular session, the audience expected is system administrators, IT network team, and everything. We'll also kind of like help you create an onboarding plan and deliver a roadmap which would cover your provisioning instructions, your RISE with SAP entitlements, and onboarding handbook. We would also help you execute your clean core assessments, the quality gates, and that would also be supported in a 1:1 mode. Now, there's one more thing which has been recently launched is transformation preparation service. So as you could see, after the contract is started, there is a transformation preparation service which is available. It's typically a 3-day workshop, and during this workshop, the experts from SAP would come to on-site and help you with the creating of a tailored transformation roadmap. They'll help you set up tool chain. They will help you understand around the best practices around governance and many other places. And they will also support you with SAP AI and SAP build use cases. So this service is also part of your subscription and is available to you. And there's no extra cost attached to this. The service would be delivered on site at your preferred location as well. Now, before I move to the next slide, I'd like to kind of like just highlight few things with regards to your onboarding advisor. So your onboarding advisor typically guides you through your onboarding journey, supports you in the quality gate, first quality gate, and basically also supports you with the report readout, the quality gate assessments, key findings. But the onboarding advisor will not be supporting you into any case management, technical support, and implementation consulting related activities. They'll also not get into the details, consulting like the details around the guidances which came out from the quality gate findings. That is not something which an onboarding advisor would do. These things you'll have to take support from your implementation partner and execute. Now, with that, very quickly, I'd like to kind of like just give you a very crisp summary of what are the kind of sessions which we have lined up for you, which you can expect as a part of embedded launch activities and customer onboarding. So there's a 1:1 session, an individual session with you, where we provide you with the introduction. There would be an ECS kickoff plan. There would be a session with RISE with SAP methodology overview, and then we will support you in executing the clean core quality gates. And then there would be a readout session planned for you where we'll explain you how to read the assessment report which came out after you executed the quality gates. Now, all these sessions are done 1:1 with each customer who has subscribed to Cloud ERP Private SKU now going forward. Then there are 1:many webcast, a mix of 1:many and 1:1 sessions for SAP Business Transformation Solutions, which is SAP Signavio and SAP LeanIX. And the details of all those sessions are already mentioned on the slide. And as I mentioned, There would be some sessions for SAP BTP as well. So there would be two sessions, and these are also 1:1 sessions. So these would be individual sessions, not webcasts, where the experts would guide you into SAP BTP foundations and SAP Build foundations. And as I explained earlier as well, there is a TPS service, which is 3 days on-site workshop, which would be done. So there would be a remote session to help plan, coordinate for the workshop, the finalize the agenda and everything from your spot. And then there would be a 3-day workshop, which is preferably on-site. In case if the on-site is not working out because of any logistical challenges and everything on customers' request, we can plan it remotely, virtually as well. But we always prefer to do that on-site. And then there would be a wrap up and a handover of the findings, all the playbooks, and all sort of things associated with that. So these were the topics which I wanted to cover today. Sin, can I request you to please check the chat if there are any questions or anything which have come up?
Perfect. Thank you very much, Sunil, for your introduction into SAP customer onboarding and the embedded launch activities. So, as you've mentioned, let's take a look in the chat. And before I do that, as I've mentioned in the beginning, you, the participants, have the opportunity still to raise your questions by using the chat window, and we're more than happy to answer them now. So, we have received a couple of questions already. Let me start with the first one, which is, when is the ideal point in time to start the onboarding journey?
Uh, so the onboarding journey typically starts very close to your contract start date. As you could see on the slide as well, you'll receive an automated welcome email just close to your contract signatures, but an onboarding advisor would connect with you very shortly after or just at the contract start date. So that's the time.
Perfect. Thank you. So the next question is, can SAP implementation partners attend the onboarding sessions as well?
That's a very good question. Yes, we encourage that all our customers invite their implementation partners also onto all these calls. And we kind of like encourage them to be there because having them there will always help them during the implementation of projects as well. And when we execute the clean core quality gates, there is an assessment report which is generated. Now, basis that assessment report, if there are certain actions which are supposed to be taken at your end, I think implementation partner would be in the would be the best stakeholder who would be able to support you in executing those towards clean core adherence.
Perfect. Many thanks for the insights here.
Mhm.
So we have another question in the chat. Is it possible to ask questions in the onboarding sessions? Are they interactive?
Yes, both the 1:1 sessions as well as the webcasts are live. So we encourage all the questions during those sessions. Most of the time, we try to take questions at end of the day, at the end of the session. But in 1:1 sessions, it could be interactive during the session as well, depending on how you align with the onboarding advisor who is onboarding you.
Great. I think this is a great advantage. So I can currently not see any additional questions in the chat. So there's still a couple of minutes left for you, for the participants, to include possible questions in the chat window. So you will be able also to access the shown slides via the description of this video. So we will include a link leading to the slides shortly after this session. And in the description of this video, you can also find a link leading to our playlist where you can find all the sessions around the theme of SAP Business Suite. So yeah, use the opportunity to take a look into our playlist and discover the past as well as the upcoming sessions there. So let me take another look into the chat window. I cannot see any additional questions at the moment. So Many thanks again, Sunil, for taking your time, for being with us today, for providing your valuable insights into the SAP customer onboarding, as well as the embedded launch activities that our customers can benefit from. And many thanks also to all the participants for taking your time, for being with us today. Would, of course, be great to welcome you again in one of our upcoming sessions.
Thank you so
So
much.
have a great day and goodbye.
Thank you. Bye bye.